And welcome to the first ever video of Mr. H. We are going to be getting right into it. We're doing a sociology paper. And for anyone that wants to know, it is the 2019 Component 1. So we will get straight into it. So I hope you guys can see this. I don't know if you can. Alright, I think you guys can. Perfect. See, I'm trying a new system for this, so I might not be great at it. Anyway. Refers to data in the forms of words. Okay, that just because it's weird with writing with this, so I'm just gonna circle. I'm just gonna put an A here. That's A. I know, looks bad. Refers to a system where achievement is based on. This is meritocracy. Refers to what are considered worthwhile and working for in society. That is values, and that is supposed to be a C. Argues that one of the family's function is primary socialization. Well, that is Parsons. So that is one question done, and I believe that is 4 marks, but we'll quickly check. I do have the mark scheme here. I've got the wrong mark scheme, I guess. Anyway, well, I'll check that. We'll check that in a moment. We'll check that later, because obviously that's the wrong mark scheme. Okay. So, I'm going to try and write this. Cultural. Obviously, I'm doing this. You can't type. So, this is what we're going to have to do. Cultural diversity is the differences between. Obviously, we will check the mark scheme. I am a GCSE student, so I might get these things wrong, and we all just learn. Differences between cultural diversity is the differences between cultures. And this is a trick that I didn't even know. It saves a bit of time. You don't actually have to write. For example, you can literally just write E dot G. So that is a fun thing to know. E dot G. English. Eat food. Eat food. With a fork. Food. Eat food with a fork. Chinese. I mean, correction. Japanese. Eat with. Obviously, this is a long way of doing it. I might, for the longer questions, do, what do you call it? Go on Google Docs and we'll go from there. That might be an easier way to do it with chop. Because this is taking a lot of time just to do this one question. Because you really want to do 2 minutes of this question, if not less. But yes, definitely use the E.G. That saves a lot of time, ironically. Eat with chopsticks. So that should, in theory, get us 2 marks. Identify one example of cultural diversity in the passage above. So this was this passage. Cultures vary a great deal. Cultural diversity can be found in food, clothing, customs, and symbols. Now, it already really says that clothing. Now, we are going to go on the docs. Get some docs open to do that question. Okay, that is vids. I didn't want vids. I wanted... We'll get some Google Docs. I'm hoping you guys can see this. I don't know whether you can. Just for these longer questions, we may as well. Sociology, P1. Okay, what was the question? Okay. Explain how cultural diversity may be used to support the nature theory. Oh no, it was nurture, wasn't it? I do believe it was nurture. That is my bad. For some reason it did not type. Why is it not? Wait. One sec. Copy. Guess we. Alright, that's how we do it. Spinning on cultural diversity may be used to support the nurture theory. Cultural diversity, because we want to answer the question, may be used to support the nurture theory. Because obviously the nurture theory was all about how you don't just get it from being born, you don't get it from your DNA, it's actually about your socialization. So we need to use that instead of the nature. We don't need to talk about nature here. So maybe it's to support, and I just realized there I did not put a T there. The nurture theory, and what could we say? Cultural diversity may be used to support the nurture theory. Well, I guess we could talk, because we talked about how they use food in the other one, and we about the chopsticks and the forks. So we could say to support the nurture theory, the use culture may be used to support the nurture theory through how people eat food. People don't know what to eat food with, and so they learn, are nurtured as they learn, are nurtured to how you to what you eat with. Okay, well that's that question done. On to the next one. Okay, I've started the next question and just given the brief thing. So the question was identify and explain 2 ways schools socialize children. One way children are socialized in school is the hidden curriculum, and then we'll say the example. Another way students are socialized in school is the sanctions, is through sanctions. Example, students will actually put children will understand from being sanctioned sanctioned the rules of society. Of hidden curriculum will pass on gender. Could we say that? Socialized children is hidden curriculum. Will pass on gender messages to children, socializing them in their gender roles. Okay, that's that question done. We did it quite well, in my opinion. Okay, we are back, and this is another question, technically A and B. So it literally said the part A was explain what is meant by gender identity. Gender identity is deeply felt internal fear of an individual being a male, female, or another gender. Example, this is learned from gender socialization. I'm actually going to change that word. It doesn't sound great, so we'll do it through. It's learned through gender socialization. That sounds a lot better. Did I miss something? Did I do this? Any other ways? Was that? Oh, that was the case study, yeah, for this. Explain 2 ways the media socialize children into gender identities. Well, one way that the media may socialize children into gender identity is stereotype. Example, a man being rewarded for acting, I can never pronounce this word, hegemonic masculinity, I might have got that right, I don't even know, I probably haven't, will encourage other males to act strong. Basically, hegemonic masculinity is literally just, it's just a fancy way, and / the sociological term for strong. Men acting strong. Why has that just swapped around? I don't know how I did that. And then another way that the media may socialize children into gender identity is role models. Example, a rewarded female for looking more stunning will lead to more women feeling they should be hyper feminine too. So basically both these underlined and bolded words are key sociological words, especially this one. This is, I'm pretty sure, on the syllabus. But yeah, that is those 2 questions. We'll get on to the next ones in just a moment. And welcome back, everyone. After I've finished the next question, as you can see, so basically the question was explain using examples 2 ways children may be socialized into ethnic identities in families. One way children may be socialized into ethnic identities in families is cultural practices. I border it. It's not, I wouldn't say it's as of a sociological word / phrase as hyperfeminine and then hemonic masculinity. I can never pronounce it. I think we both know. But it still more or less has the same impact. So the cultural practices one, and actually I don't know why that one hasn't highlighted, but yeah, this one as well. So those are both there. And then basically I just said an example. So basically those are some of the key things. One way children may be sorted into ethnic identities in families is cultural practices. Examples, speaking the family's language will cause the child to gain praise, giving them a sense of ethnic belonging. Belonging? Belonging. Belonging. I can't believe I said that. Another way children may be socialized into ethnic identities in families is cultural values. Example, through reading religious texts, the child may feel a sense of unity within a wider ethnic population. So that is that. All of these, I would say, are probably going to get full marks, which is good. But we still got a 12 marker. I think a 50 marker to do as well. Don't think 30 markers are only A level, is what I think I remembered. But I'll see you in the next question, and we'll talk over it in just a moment. Okay, everybody, we are back once again. 2 new questions are already completed. So the first one was describe what is meant by serial monogamy. Obviously, monogamy just means when you are married to one person, whereas polygamy is when you're married to multiple people at the same time. Of course, we're only married to one person, so serial monogamy is when a person has a second partner, but only after divorcing the other person. First example, only together with one person at a time. Explain why marks are critical of families in a capitalist society. And the answer for that one is one reason why Marxists are critical of families in a capitalist society is sanctioned. Example, it teaches them the rules needed to work in the workplace, but stops the child from being able to overthrow the bourgeoisie. Another reason for this is reproduction of the labour force. Example, families are reproducing the next generation of the workforce at no extra cost to the bourgeoisie. For time, I have been asking AI exactly how many marks you think each of these answers would get, and right now we are at full marks, which is wonderful to see. And we're now on question 9, I believe. It's an 8 marker though, so that is 2 paragraphs at the minimum. And then we will see how we get on from there. I'll be back in a moment. And for once more, we are back, and this is the next question. This is the 50 marker that will be after this. So the question was, explain why fewer couples are choosing to get married in the contemporary UK. Contemporary, that just means modern, right now. You should explore at least 2 reasons in your response. One reason why fewer couples are choosing to get married in the contemporary UK is cost. The average wedding costs 20,000. It literally does. It probably will increase, to be fair, by the time I'm old enough. Cost 20,000 alone. With the cost of living crisis, many families / partners can't afford to get married as well. They have other commitments that like to cohabit and save money, so they stay unmarried. That is honestly a key word to say, cohabit. It means just to live together, but you don't have to be married. Then that is just context, I guess, with the 20,000 cost of living crisis. But it's good content that will get you points. Another reason for this is change in norms, as couples don't have the pressure as they used to get married anymore. They feel they don't have to get married as they would have done in the past because of secularization. The social stigma of getting married is removed, and so they remain unmarried. And as you can see here, where is it? 4 out of 4. We got a full 8 marks there. We're now on to this question. Some sociologists suggest that the nuclear family is under threat. Do you agree with this view? In your answer, you are advised to consider different sociological ideas and theories to support your judgment. Now, we must, for this question, besides using structure, which you all have your own structure, I presume, there is a lot of structures that you can. I think some people use PEEL, which is point, evidence, explain, link. And that's also a good history one if any of you do history. But obviously, you all have your own. If you don't use that one, that's fine. You use your own. If you know yours, then do that. But the main thing that you do need to remember, everyone has to do this. Conclusion. Sum up your points. And then obviously, choose a side a bit. But you'll always have a side when you do it. But don't speak as if you have a side. You'll understand once I am done. See you in a moment, everyone. And welcome back for once again. I've said that quite a few times. How many times will I say it by the end of the video? I'm sure you want to know. Anyway, back to this. So this is a question that I just said. Some sociologists suggest that the nuclear family is under threat. Do you agree with this view? This is a 50 marker. In your answer, you are advised to consider different sociological ideas and theories to support your judgment. Obviously, theories, just the beliefs of each, like the new right, Marxists, obviously idea for Marxism, functionalism, functionalist idea. Obviously, you also have the feminism. I believe I don't do these ones, maybe they're A level. But when I was going over AI, because obviously I get them to mark, there were actually other series that I've never seen before. So if you have any of these, like the postmodernist perspective, the neo-conventional family, is there any more that I've not seen? I don't think so, because obviously feminist is there. But any more that you have, that is fine as long as you get the right point. That is fine, of course. Obviously each exam board is different because I have the Eduqas. I mean, oh my god. Honestly, one of the best courses I've ever done. Anyway, this is my answer to it. One reason which supports the statement is the new right belief that the new right idea that the nuclear family is under threat as it. Nah, the belief actually doesn't work there. Belief that the nuclear family is under threat as it is being undermined by cultural dependency. Welfare state benefits the lone parent families by giving them more money to support the child than the nuclear family. As such, families opt for lone parent over the nuclear family, causing a decline in the nuclear family. Another reason which supports this is Marxism. More Marxists believe the nuclear family's only use was to serve capitalism. The breakdown of the nuclear family proves that people are moving away from structures that purely fitted the bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie is just a fancy word for the rich, the wealthy, and who knows? Put in the comments what you think is, in fact, the poor or the working class. Put in the comments the sociological term for the poor or working class. I'll give you a minute. Anyway, I think that was enough time. I did say a minute, but it was only going to be 10 seconds. Anyway, the answer was the proletariat. But we shall move on because we are on time crunch. Yeah, I've only got 30 minutes. So we might not get all of this. There might need to be a part 2 done because we still have 10. Not actually 10 to be fair. We have about, honestly, not that many questions left to be fair. Obviously, we've just done this one and tell you that's a page worth, and then you got this one. So we might do this in 2 parts to be fair. But anyway, moving on. Because we want to get this answer done. England, so basically, one reason which supports, oh shit, we've already done that one. One reason which disagrees with this is functionalism. The likes of Tolkien Parsons, and then I'm going to highlight bold that one, because when you use special sociological words, that is going to get you marks. So these, and of course, the sociologists. Anyway, Tolkien Parsons believes works. That the nuclear family is the backbone of society. You can actually get a mark, I think, for backbone of society, and despite the depreciation of the nuclear family, they still believe it is vital for the primary socialization of children, and they argue it still dominates life. In conclusion, despite the functionalist idea of the nuclear of if the nuclear family is under threat, actually that does work. I believe, given the facts of the new right and Marxist view of the nuclear family being under threat, that the nuclear family is indeed under threat. Now, my sociologist teacher, really good teacher to be fair, she makes me love sociology. Most students aren't great at conclusions apparently, and in fairness, she called me as decent with them. Well, I don't. She didn't use decent, but you get my point. I was good at them. I think it's just you just need to get a core idea. You don't need to write every single thing. You just need to keep it in. Literally, start with in conclusion. Best thing you can start with. It tells you that the examiner you finished. Then just say despite or the one that you don't believe in, or just get out of the way. Despite, and then you can just say the other ones, or just name them, New Right and Marxist, and say what they believe and that you agree. is indeed, or being, because I put in conclusion, despite the functionist idea of if the nuclear family is under threat, I believe, given the facts of the new right and Marxist view of the nuclear family being under threat, that the nuclear family is indeed under threat. Because that just tells us that what we've given an opinion, which answers the question, because in fairness, you never say, oh, I agree, I disagree. You only do that here. Anyway, that is my version. There is another set of questions. We have a few more. But obviously, there's another 15 marker there. There's a few more, and we are about up with time here on the video at 30 minutes. So we will finish this off in the next episode, which might be on Wednesday potentially. Obviously, this is Mr. H, and I hope you have enjoyed the episode. Once again, we will repeat this. If anyone does want to know, I am using Save My Exams, and these are the past papers that you can do. Of course, I'm doing Sociology, and we're doing Eduqas. And if anyone wants to know the year that we are doing, it is the 2020 November paper. I don't know why my accent just changed there. Component 1, understanding social processes, and it's out of 100. Obviously, I've been getting AI to check over my answers, and so far we've actually got 100% so far. So hopefully that will be maintained. But yeah, key pointers, always use a structure that you are familiar with. If you are unfamiliar with Peel, don't use Peel. If you prefer doing something else, use that. Obviously, the exam board I think does say use Peel, but obviously if you have your own way, still do it. Otherwise, always have a conclusion in your answer. Always try and use different concepts. Don't say feminist and then do new right in the same exact paragraph. It's awkward, but you can get away with it if you put it in right, but it's just easier to split them, and obviously more paragraphs, more marks generally, just because of structure. And of course, put in those sociologists, you get marks for that. Put in key ideas / concepts / words. For example, the Hawthorne effect. What else? You've got validity, representativeness, reliability, all of those. Obviously, this isn't for this paper. It hasn't been on there yet. I don't actually think it will be on this one. But anyways, I hope you have enjoyed the video. We are very much almost up with time. Please, if you can, drop a like. I'm gonna be checking those comments to see who got the proletariat right. If you can, subscribe. It really does help the channel out. If you have any ideas on what you want me to do after this, do you want me more sociology? Do you want other what do you call it? If I go back, do you want exam question, me just going through exam question? Do you want more past papers? Do you want me to make some flashcards, study planner, a study planner that you might want, other like courses? Do you want me to do? One sec. I'm real quick just gonna save this because I have wrote on it a bit. Because I have other courses. Obviously, I'm only doing ones that are on my exam board, so I do apologize to anyone who has a different exam board. But generally, most exam boards will have relevant similarities. So social business, English, and all. I'm scrolling quick because I've only got like 30 seconds. But I hope to see you all in the next one. Please, if you can, like and subscribe once again. Enjoy the rest of your morning, day, or night, depending on where you are in the world. And I will see you all in the next one.